In this course, we will look at the coding and encoding for IATA codes. The main instructions for IATA coding and encoding, as we will see in the example, are that from a city, we want to know which airports there are and what their IATA codes are coded in 3 letters. We use the command DAN. For example, if we enter DAN, New York, we will get all the airports in New York with their IATA codes in 3 letters. Conversely, if we want to know which city is associated with a 3-letter airport code, we use the command DAC, and here we enter the 3 letters of the airport code. For airlines, when we know the name of the airline, for example, America Airlines, we simply enter DNA, America Airlines, and we will get the IATA code for America Airlines, which is AA, and the opposite is also true. For example, if we write DNA, followed by the full name of the airline, for example, Emirates, we will get the IATA code for Emirates, which is EK. Now for the type of aircraft that appears in the PNR when we enter DNE, the 3 digits that appear in the PNR will give us the type of aircraft, meaning Boeing, Airbus, and others, of course. Now, for countries, you just need to enter DC followed by the name of the country. For example, when we enter France, we will get the IATA code for France, which is FRA, and we will also have the name of its currency, for example, Euro, and we will have the code associated with this currency, which is EUR. We will now look at the examples. For example, when we enter DAN city, like here, DAN Paris, we will get PAR City Paris, which is the code for the city of Paris. And the airports, here they are. When we have the letters AAA, it means airport. So, there is Orly Airport, which is coded IATA ORY, Charles de Gaulle Airport, which is CDG, and Beauvais Airport, which is PVA, for the other codes. For example, the opposite DAC. When we have the code, we find the city. For example, when we enter DAC LHR, the Amadeus system will display London. It's London, which means that this airport is located in London. Another example that we will see now in the Amadeus system, of course, when we enter DNA for an airline, the name of the airline, for example, when we enter DNA Vueling, the system will display VY, which is the IATA code for the airline Vueling. When we enter, for example, DAF, the system will tell me AF, which is the 2-letter IATA code for the airline Air France. And finally, when we enter DNE, the 3-letter name that appears in the PNR, for example, DNE 360, the system will tell us that it is an Airbus that can carry 250 to 300 passengers. We will do examples, of course, on the system. For countries, it is very important to know their currency and currency code. For example, when we enter DC, the name of the country's currency. Like here, as an example, DC Canada, the system will respond Canada, the country is CAN, the currency is the Canadian dollar, and the currency code is CAD. We will now just do a simple example of the first coding that we did. So if we want to know the name or coding of the airports that we will use in the availability commands AN, for example, the airport codes of Paris, so we will type DAN, determine airport name, Paris.
And here is the display. Okay, so A means airport. PAR is the airport code, the code for the city of Paris. PAR is Paris. And here it is, airport CDG, city, Paris, Charlevoix, ALBG, the airport of Le Bourget, France. Orly, Paris, Orly. Here is the complete list of airports in Paris. Another example. For instance, if we put DAN, for example, Las Vegas, just in case. So here we have the 3 airports of Las Vegas. So the code for the city of Las Vegas is CLAS, LAS City Las Vegas. So the code for the city of Las Vegas is LAS. There are 3 airports. The first airport, its code is HSH, it is Anderson. LAS is McMahon and Municipal Airport. That's it for the cases of Dan and so on. Note, if we enter Dan France, we will get the code for all the airports in France or the associated country. So here we can see almost all the airports, Angers, Ajaccio, Angoulême, etc. And here we have the airport codes. This way, in case you have a request for availability, you will know how to use the airport code. Now, the opposite. That is, if we want to find the city associated with the airport code, in this case, it will be determine airport city. And here, we enter the airport code. If I put LHR, which airport is it? Where is it located? In which city? And there you go. It responds to me. LHR is an airport in London and it's called Heathrow. It's in England. We can continue like this. ALG, for example. Okay, so it will be Algiers, Rouara, Median airports. Okay, we can continue like this. There are several. MSAS, for example. So it's the airport code for Marseille Marignan. There you go. So if we type, for example, we will bring up a file. So we will bring up a file that we have already done. For example, there you go. I have a file here. Okay, here we have 330. It's the aircraft used for this segment. 727 is the aircraft used for this segment. If I want to know which plane it is, I just have to type DNE, determine name equipment, 330. So the system will tell me Airbus 330. This Airbus has a capacity of 240 to 250 passengers. If I type, on the other hand, DNE 770, the system will tell me it's a Boeing 770 with a capacity of 300 to 340. Now for airlines, airlines is DNA. If I type DNA, for example, Emirates, to know the IATA code of the airline, so what does it respond? DNA EK Emirates, so the airline Emirates has the IATA code EK. It belongs to the United Arab Emirates, okay? And vice versa, DNA works both ways. If I have the name, the IATA code of the airline, and I want to know which airline it is, I just have to do DNA. For example, if I type TU just by chance, it will tell me TU concerns Tunisair. If I type NADEAL, okay, it will tell me that it is Delta Airlines in the United States. Finally, for the PI codes and the currency codes of the country, for example, if someone wants to go to Mexico, wants to know the currency used in that country, I just have to type DC, determine country Mexico. It will give me that the country code for Mexico is MX, the currency is called the Mexican New Peso, and the currency code is MXN. That's roughly the coding and encoding.